Hello everybody, it's Monday and that means I'm back. We're back for some writing in my own book. Yes, and I think everything is working. My camera is blinking, saying no card. It's not supposed to have a card, so that's good. Hello, Miri is here. Hello Miri, hope you're doing well. Welcome to the stream. Good to have you here. Let me just need to have this pinned comment. Oh, Flays Flame is here from the beginning. Let's go. Pin that message. All right, that's cool, guys. Good to have you here. How has your weekend been? I hope it has been good. What am I doing? Well, right now I'm wondering why my chat thingy isn't coming up on stream. That's a bit weird. It'll probably be here soon, I'm sure. PlayStation says interesting weekend for sure. Quite the roller coaster. That can be both really good and really bad, or maybe a little bit of both. So hopefully it was mostly good. Miri says, I'm doing very well. How have you been? Thank you. I've been doing quite well as well. Been back home at my parents' house for the weekend. That was nice. As always. And yeah, just chilling. Just watching a bit of Christmassy stuff, trying to get into the Christmas spirit. Watching the new Knives Out mystery on Netflix. That was pretty good. I haven't actually done a whole lot on my book. But what I have been doing, at least, is that I'm sort of almost done with my chapter overview. Still need the climax, the resurrection, and then the ending, and to have that plotted out. So that's all good. It really seriously annoys me that my chat thingy isn't working. Why is that not working? Chat. Okay, there it was. What? Right, alright. I have no idea why that didn't work. But JP is here. Hi JP, it's good to have you. Hope you're doing well as well. Flames played, we are the same. Writing is so delayed. This month is just so busy. Yeah, I'm still keeping up with my writing something, at least 15 minutes a day. But it has honestly not been much more, and it's a bit like, you know, just right before I'm going to bed or something. Then I get those 15 minutes in, and it has usually been in my chapter overview, or maybe I have a couple of short stories. I've been digitizing one of them. JP says, all good here, prepping my writing plans for 2026. Nice, that sounds cool. What are your writing plans for 2026, if I may be so bold as to ask? Flame says 15 minutes is like a paragraph in editing. I can never get those useful 4-hour moments. No, but I mean, it's also just like to do something every day, right? It's not exactly about the 15 minutes. It's just to get something done every day and feel like you're progressing. And when you do it, if you do it 15 minutes every day for an entire year, you've actually accumulated, I think it's 90 hours by the end of the year. So that's pretty good. Oh, Miri says, I'm doing quite well. I've written more words in December than in November. Well done. That's awesome. So good to hear. Very nice to hear that you're progressing so well. JP says, working on the first trilogy of the fantasy series as well as the prequel. Setting some daily goals for the years. Ooh. My god. That is, wow, that is a plan. But that is some plans that are some plans. First trilogy of the fantasy series as well as a prequel. Damn. And are you intending to write all of them? So that's 4 books, I guess. I mean, that's quite the goal if you're intending to write 4 books in a year. I needed to get out of my own head and my way. Says Miri, that's, yeah. That can happen. 4 books by the end of 2026. At least 4 books. What? That's wild. Yeah, quite the proactive people we have here indeed. God dang, dudes. That is so cool. Awesome to hear that. 4 books in a year, that sounds wild. I can barely make 2 short stories. To be fair, I did sort of ditch one of the short stories for this book here. Which I should probably begin. So... I did manage to write a little bit, like half a page where we left off last time. We are still in the catacombs of where Vespa is learning how to heal, and we're sort of getting closer to her actually doing it, healing herself, healing her arm, her bruised arm. And the idea is once she gets that done, we probably need a little bit of a pep talk from the spirit, Renaid. And then that leads to chapter 13, where she sort of confronts the Grand Protector directly. I feel like my exposure is weird on my camera today. JB says, working on detailed outlines right now though. AOE will all be set up for the year. Damn. I still think it's quite the task. I'll be very, very impressed if you manage to do that. 4 books by a year. Wow. Right. Shall we have a little bit of a read as to where we were? So let's just start here, where Vespa has just been instructed to have this feeling of this flow of life coursing into her body and around her body, and then she has to sort of let it go back into her hands to actually utilize the powers. So she asked, why did I have to feel it through my body if I just had to use my hand? There was a clear expression of doubt on Vespa's face, even with her eyes closed. Oh, Jamie Robinson is here. He's back. I've been back for 1 live stream. This is my 2nd live stream back. Hello, Jamie. It's good to have you. Okay, yeah. So Flaze Flame says the quality control of 4 books in a year is going to be a Herculean task, pre-writing and editing. That indeed. But if I'm understanding it correctly, JP says I'm a fast drafter, so they might not be clean, but they'll be ready to edit. Yeah, it's not like you're going to draft the 4 books, right? So it's not like you want them basically all done. It's 4 first drafts that you are aiming, which is wild still. I can't wait to follow up on that progress. Excellent question that I will try to answer briefly, Renee said with hurry in his voice. It is important that you know. How to feel the flow. not just touch it or use it, but truly feel it, and you do so with your entire body. If you do not feel it, there is no directing of the flow, no control. But as you get better, you will learn how to utilize the feeling better. Yeah, JP says, yeah, just first drafts. So that, I mean, it makes a little bit more sense, but I still think it's a very cool and big task that you're setting yourself. But you know, if you have a really cool, really good idea of what you want to do with the books, want to save them, I mean, yeah, like I said, I can't wait to follow along that progress. Faster and more efficient, to the point where you hardly recognize it, but only because you know it to be there always. Vesper thought that made sense, and wished that she someday would have that much confidence in herself and her abilities, just like a fire had. She made a promise to herself that she one day would, no matter how much training was required. Are you ready to try? Reina asked. We're running a bit out of time or flow. Spirit's voice sounded as if smiling. Another deep breath, and Vesper felt ready, at least as ready as she could be. I am. The confidence in her voice seemed fragile, but it was no use if not to try, which was a weird sentence. Hence the comment that says, what? Good. Then let us try before the branch's flow of life runs dry. Renaith said, his anticipation barely hidden. Just remember that if it should not work, we can always try again. You have already come very far for only a single day. Vesper felt a little calmer by the spirit's reassuring words, though her heart was still working overtime. Her heart. She nodded with her eyes still closed to signify her readiness. Lemon's chatter was replaced by a single tweet, which almost sounded as a question. I see, Renaith said. Based on Lemon telling me that you just nodded, let's indeed begin. Sorry, Vesper said, her mouth tightening in embarrassment. You don't have to worry about it, the spirit chuckled. I forget about it all the time as well. But enough about that. The first thing you'll need is a focus point. What is a focus point? Vesper asked. She had never heard. And we're off. Oh, before we're off, JP said, if I stay consistent, it will all go smooth. This also depends on if I decide to type the draft or to handwrite them. Leaning toward the handwriting, which will take longer for me. We've talked about this before, but I can only recommend the handwriting. It feels so good, feels so nice. The first draft is a structure. They might not look good, but if there are problems, it will collapse the entire thing. I advise to be careful. Don't ever rush too much. Says Flame. JP, I agree. My outlines are detailed, like 20k words each. Wow. Okay. That doesn't even include character sheets. Damn. So you already have like 80k words of detailed outlines, not counting background lore and character sheets. My god, you are one productive writer, JP. That's wild. Flame says, can you just add a red bar in the corner? It doesn't feel naturally for it to be just you. You know what? I'm still going back and forth on the whole having a progress bar thing, because I do find it funny that it was there, and like I mentioned last time, I was not sure of this new UI thingy. I think it makes sense to have this sort of where are we box, just, you know, potentially new viewers can see where we are. But this one does feel empty. I'll agree on that. So I don't know. I'm not sure really how to do it. But it's probably not going to be today. Sorry. It is not going to be Wednesday either. It is going to be in the new year if when I change the UI up a bit. You need a new goal. It is fun to see numbers go up. That's true. That I can definitely agree with. And I think the new goal is just 70,000 words. You know, I guess we could change that. Because we could say this one. Oops. There. Nope, that was the wrong one. Whoops. Whee. So at least now it says we have a progress goal. But I definitely like the bar as well, but I just really don't know how to incorporate it without it stealing too much. Without it stealing too much space, because I'm already feeling like the UI thing is just taking up a lot already. PlayStation says this man's planner, if I've ever seen one. I'm closer to the center, but more inclined towards planning. Gives me a lot of versatility in chapters and characters. JP answered, I'm not married to my outlines either, which can get me into trouble sometimes. Yeah. If I learned one thing from doing the NaNoWriMo and the first draft here in a book, it's that things sort of fall into place, or you get good ideas that needs changing of the story all the time. Get better ideas, which is cool. Okay, now we begin here. Heard. Of such a thing. Wow, Blaze Flame. Wow. Just get rid of the human in the corner and add the bar. The true writer. Oh. Oh, that stings. It was the bar supremacy, the red bar supremacy. A focus point. Is a very useful tool. To help one better focus. To help one better have a better control. And direct. definitely think that this is something I've repeated. Flame says, what does a human even do anyways? The bar gives us factual information and the incremental rise of an arbitrary meaning of integers. Can I just say, this word progress text does the same, so why do you even need a bar? I am here as entertainment and to show you that it is indeed me. The flow. I don't know about this sentence, but we're going to write it anyway. The spirit explained. So what I want to sort of say with this is that it's like, so I've used tattoos in a couple of my stories, and Afaya has it here as well, and tattoos is like a focus point. That's sort of there to help you visualize things and, yeah, direct and control, as I just wrote. I do feel these paragraphs here are actually quite important because I'm sort of explaining my magic system, which is supposed to be mystical and fluffy. I just use gauntlet. She's not wearing a gauntlet in this chapter. No. Because her arm is bruised, so she can't wear it. Sorry, Flame. But yeah, I do want to keep this magic sort of like the Force in Star Wars, where it's, you can't really explain it. It's just sort of there. There's some mystique, there's some mysticism. Because I think I really like that type of magic system. Not something that is not necessarily overly complex, right? Like, and I know that people do really enjoy like hard magic systems in today's fantasy world. But yeah, it's just a bit. It's just a bit how to describe it, you know. Please use Dauntless. Dauntless, that's the ship from Pirates of the Caribbean that they are controlling. Make her learn force healing without working for it at all, like the source material. No, but she is working for it. That's the whole point. And it's not force. It's not the force. I was just saying, like, I was trying to compare it to the force, right? It can be. Oops. Can. It can. Oops. Oh, when you haven't really written anything for like well, not quite a week, but 5 days. You know, you sort of need to get into the groove of things again. It can be either physically or something you imagine. Something one imagines. Oops. Imagines. The idea is that you place all of your attention, whoops, on this very specific point, There was too many point. Flex flame, it is the Force. Harry, you're a Jedi. This is a flashy magic system indeed. No, you're a lizard, Harry. On this very specific point. And the flow naturally goes there. Naturally goes or follows naturally. Naturally follows. Vesper still wasn't sure. Was still unsure what he meant. But she was also reluctant. She was also reluctant to ask. Afraid. of being seen. Not as weak, but maybe as a little bit of a failure. I don't really want to say as a failure, but maybe failure is good enough. Then we can say like despite her progress. No, Flayslave, not a Jedi. Everyone would be happy to be seen as a Jedi. Let's go with that. Let's go with failure. Despite what Reyna just reassured her, just assured her. You are silent. He asked, almost as if he could feel her hesitation. Her hesitation. Ignoramus. I feel like Ignoramus doesn't quite work in the context of my book, but thanks for the suggestion, I guess. If there are questions, within you, I always want you to ask. I always want you to ask. To ask them. Questions are important, Christians. Are important. They're essential. In fact, without questions we won't learn. Questions. There will be no learning. There will be no learning. No, that's an N. Everyone can see that. Playstone says Ignoramus fits quite well. He doesn't want to be seen as one who doesn't listen. It was mostly the word Ignoramus That's, I don't know, that feels academic, strange, in a strange manner, I think. Playstream, I like this guy. Hopefully he isn't eventually used as a throwaway gut punch meant to just shock the reader in an already tense moment. No, he is he's going to be there through the entire trilogy. Don't worry. He is quite important. And he has a big role to play towards the end of the trilogy, if we ever get so far. Are you sure? I promise. I promise. It's going to be interesting though. I didn't think of that. For a trilogy, she's not going to have like meeting the mentor for the other couple of books. Are you sure? I'm really sure. Just Flame, I just need you to look away for the next hour or so, and then, you know, nothing will happen to him. I just sort of had an idea for how we might incorporate the progress bar into the UI at one point. We could have it all be like just heighten it a little bit, making it a little bit bigger, and then have a bar down at the bottom. That could be cool. That could be all right, I think. But it will take some setup, and maybe I'll do it for Wednesday. But most likely for the new year. Yeah. I wonder what I can do to make the reader more engaged. Every writer in existence to the protagonist's friends. Kill them. Kill them all. Unless you're George R. Martin and then you say like, kill the main character. Just kill him. Honestly, I couldn't believe when Ned Stark died. That was so terrible. But it is a pretty, like, that's almost how you do it, right? Every time you just kill them. The hesitation proved difficult to get rid of. Proved difficult to get rid of. In spite of Rena Eats. There's an S there. Everyone can see that. Attempt at encouraging her. Encouraging Vesper. Flayslim says, or if you fancy it, just make them fall out permanently. No resolving the matter, no other meeting, just the character metaphorically slapping the protagonist. Or you know, you could go the Rafiki route of Lion King, where he literally slaps some sense into Simba with his stick. Dunk. Bonked him right into doing the right thing. Hesitation. The catacombs was filled by a silent force. For what felt like a while. For what felt like a while. Not even lemon. Just chattering. Very well. Renee finally said. Renee's voice finally said. Finally sounded. From everywhere. From nowhere and everywhere at once. Nowhere and everywhere. At once. Oops. Then I want you to... And then she interrupts him with an actual question. Flaystone says, my space opera brain is grandizing your writing as we speak. Yeah, sorry dude. I can imagine that you are using a bit more grander speak for your opera, your space opera, than the intention is for my book here. Yeah, I can only imagine, like, I can definitely see it. It's like when you know how you would do things, right? You sort of just keep doing it. It's a bit like, it sounds a bit like when you know how movies are made, or like how stories for movies are made, what sort of points they have to go through, story beats, and you sit there and you can't really enjoy the movie anymore when you're aware of it, but you can sort of enjoy it in another way. Like you keep thinking, oh, why are they using this formal transition instead of this formal transition? Why is this character here now? What's that supposed to be? What's that? What does that mean for the story, for the overall story? But it's fun. I myself have a little bit of a, for this book, I'm very, how would you say it? I'm very what's the word I'm looking for? I'm very aware, or like, I'm very aware that it should be something that's readable from like, for a 10, 11, 12, 13-year-old. No, not this taste. And I don't know if the way I write is actually too high. Or too not academic, but you know, too high speak, I guess you could almost say. Knowledgeable, yeah, sort of. Knowledgeable is probably better. Yeah, that is just might be the sentence structures, the wording that I'm using. It might be too big words, and I have honestly no idea if they are too knowledgeable. But I guess it's the first draft, so we're just rolling with it. But it is something that I'm quite aware of, that it probably shouldn't be. It maybe need to be a little bit less highbrow, I guess you would almost say. But I do intend to like read a couple of books that are published, like Harry Potter or something, for that age range as well, so you know, sort of we get a feel as to the language used. I get a feel as to it. I'm sure that some teens would read my books, but they're gonna end with 10 times the vocabulary in degrees of the story. Yeah, it's the same thing that I'm thinking about. And you know, there's nothing wrong with that, but it's just, if you have a target group in mind, you should probably mold it for that, right? So she's going to interrupt here. What is a focus? What is a physical? A physical point? Vesper interrupted. Having finally gathered the courage, finally gathered the courage to ask. Maybe a little bit later. Maybe a little bit too late for her own liking. She felt a little rude. For interrupting the spirit. The spirit. Hey, Playstream says, I have good advice for you. Might have good advice for you. And I lost it. Ah, I draw a blank of all times. Oh no. The job of the storyteller is to tell the story. The job of the actor is to show it. The job of a writer is to present it as if he had no voice, no part in it at all. Yeah, that makes sense. Yeah, that totally makes sense. I think I can see what you mean, but it's still like, it doesn't... Like, because I'm writing for tweens, right? I probably can't use really complex sentence structures. It should probably be fairly straightforward. Maybe only sprinkled with a couple of big words here and there. But yeah, of course we want to foster their imagination as well. But you know, it'll come. It'll come, I'm sure of it. And oops. And the other one. Ah. So there were questions. Were questions. Very naive. There's my once again coming across in the voice. Once again coming across in his voice. Good. That is very good. Hey, that was the end of page 162. We move on to page 163. Oh yeah. Here. 163. Whoop, whoop, whoop. New page hype. That is very good. good that you are not afraid. You're not. Let's not contract those words. That you are not afraid. To answer your question, to answer. I feel like we've been writing question quite a lot here. Whoops, answer your questions. It's supposed to be T. And I will try to be brief. I will try to be brief. How will he be brief? No one knows. We want to direct and control the flow with ease. And sometimes it can, Sometimes it can help to imagine. Help to imagine the flow traveling towards a certain point. What we call a focus point. What we call a focus point. That's supposed to be an A, not an O. Go. Full stop. This point can either be, I don't actually know if I'm repeating myself right now. I feel like I might be, but whatever. Actually, I want to say all through here. All through. This point can. Okay, so like examples, this can be something. Oops, damn it. something like a ring or a weapon. Or a tattoo. That's with 2 T's. Vespa interrupted again. She didn't think about how the spirit would react. She didn't think about how the spirit would react. The spirit reacts. It's bad. Nothing for her to see. Reacts to being interrupted, silenced, interrupted. Suspense stopped, maybe. Derailed, disturbed. Cut short. Yeah, let's go with that. Being cut short. In such a short amount of time. At least not until after the deed is done. I can feel that T's today is the letter that I'm having a lot of trouble with writing. So that's fun. Good thing I rarely use a T. Am I right? Tattoo, for example. The deed was done. Luckily for her, he didn't seem to mind. For her, he didn't seem to mind. In the slightest. In the slightest. Mm-hmm. Yes, exactly. In fact, Renee seemed almost judging by the tone. Tone of Renee. He seemed almost happy about it. He seemed almost happy about it. At the very least, he was quite eager. At the very least. He was quite eager. Quite eager at the response. Does that make sense? Not a whole lot, I feel like. At her response, I don't feel like that makes a whole lot of sense. At her response. So we're going to comment that. And say sense. I think not. Tattoos. Let's go to an S. Are in fact, indeed, very common. Damn it, common. COMMON. It's a very difficult word, you guys. Very difficult word. very common way of making focus points. Making a focus point. Or focus points. Focus points. I should probably say. They provide a very useful and very provide a very useful and very something indeed. Very useful and very real, but not real. Like a path. Concrete, could probably literal is probably what I'm looking for actually. Genuine, typo. Faithful, precise, strict, factual, direct. Yeah, literal. Actually, it might not be literal. Pathway. Or endpoint. For one, two. Direct the flow with. Word. I don't know. How did you know about the tattoos? Did how do? How do you know? The use of tattoos, the use of tattoos. God damn, they look terrible. Terrible penmanship. Hey, Salome Gada says moin. Hello, welcome to the stream, Salome. Moin to you too. How are you doing this fine Monday evening? Well, it's evening for me. I don't know about the use of tattoos. Vesper, of course, didn't. Vesper, of course, didn't. But as Renee was talking, she had gotten images. Oh, this is bad. Terrible sentence, but whatever. Of the wavy and beautiful lines that decorated her sister's arms. Decorated her older sister's arms. Older sister's arms. She had always wondered Vesper had always been fascinated by them. Always been fascinated. I just realized that we finally managed to break through the first page of the day. First written page somewhere around here. So that was where? Must be there. Woo! All right, let's go. Whoop whoop. Fascinated. specify the intricate drawings. Black drawings. Affairs, olive skin, olive skin. But had never gotten an answer. But had never gotten an answer as to what they were. Besides pretty, of course. Should be a full stop there. Besides pretty, of course. Okay. Sorry, I lost my train of thought. You tend to do that, of course. Need to check something with the stream. Okay, good. I think I accidentally put chapter 13 in the title when we began. I just need to make sure that I had actually updated it, because we are only on chapter 12. Only. I will say though, chapter 12 here, it might look like we're halfway through, only halfway through, but these chapters, even if they seem quite long here on the main plot, I think they're going to be fairly short. So I I do think that it is about that we are about maybe 3/4, 2/3, 3/4 into the story. But I also do want to actually sort of end this chapter soonish. I don't think we're gonna do it today. I don't think we're gonna do it today at all. My older sister have tattoos on both her arms. She explained. She never something. They are very pretty. Of course, we already had pretty up there. Very pretty. And they look like waves. Waves and water. Ending in her hands. In her... Whoops. Her hands. Her hands. I just sort of realized that what should be her focus point. What should be Vesper's focus point? She doesn't have the gauntlet with her. She doesn't have any rings. She doesn't have a weapon. I guess it sort of could be the ladle, if we wanted that. But we haven't mentioned that in forever. Well, let's keep going and see what we come up with then, shall we? That is going to be a pickle. Maybe she should like cut herself on a thorn of a branch. I don't know. I don't know. I don't know. Don't know much about love. No, don't know much about controlling waters. Renate responded. It was never something. Never. It was never something that came to me. That came to me. Like the flow of life. Even though I've known wielders of the elements. That would make you think I was lying. Would make you think chuckled. No matter how much they tried. No matter how much they tried. Just could not, I just did not get it. Did not get it. So we can have a little little bit of a Vesper here. Oh my god, that's so much my experience, basically. Honestly, that has kind of stumped me. The fact that I don't know what Vesper, what her focus point should be, because we need her to learn. I kind of want it to be her gauntlet though. Miri says remember to stretch and hydrate. Thank you. Got my water here. Thank you for the reminder. That might help. For a moment. Vesper could hardly get a word across. That is exactly how I feel. It is. The spirit seemed curious. It also just hit me that I think we've said like 3 or at least 2 times now. I will try to be brief, we need to be hurry, we need to be quick. And it just hasn't been quick at all. We just kept on rambling. Yes. Whenever Affair have tried to get me to learn That's a bit weird, isn't it? Weird. Try to get me to learn. To get me to learn to control. That's a really freaking bad sentence. Control the blessed waters. Blessed waters. I just never could. I just never could feel anything. And she's the greatest one I know. She's the greatest paladin I know. Greatest paladin that I know. Does Renaith know about the paladins? Does Renaith know? Because they would have been called. They would have been called Knights of the Lily when he was alive. Let's just assume that we have. We did say something about it. I think things have changed when we talked about earlier, way earlier, when Vesper and him discussed the teachings of the 5 pillars. And I actually need to go to the bathroom real quick. So be right back. All right, we're back. Let's pick up where we left off. This is the angel guide thingy. Such a weird track. It's like 7 minutes long, but it just sort of doesn't say anything, almost. Interesting. I should very much like to meet her. I should very much like to meet her. One day. The spirit stated. The spirit. But dot. I thought hit Vesper as she wondered about her older sister's tattoos. Well, if that wasn't page 163, woo, let's go. $164, you can see it if you can see it if we go like this. And I can also go like that. 164. Oh yeah, fanning a little bit. That means, Miri, new page hype indeed! Woo! Let's go! Oh yeah! We love the new page hype. Older, that was the last word. Older sister. Sister's tattoos. Why can't I just use my arms? really need a focus point? Do I really need a focus point? Some can do that. Others, most in fact, can use the help of such points. Soft points. There is no shame in that. The explanation came. Focal point might sound better, says Miri. Maybe. Let's have a note of it. Focal. I'm gonna keep using focus point, but I will revisit. It's not a term I'm really super married to. Yeah, it's not bad. It's actually focal. Maybe. Thank you for the suggestion. There we are. But your arm has many pathways. But your arms have many pathways. Many pathways. Just like the rest of your body. Just like the rest of your body. Miri says, I know it from learning dance as a kid. I think fighting would also use some of the same terms. As always, you do what flows with you. Yeah, of course. I'm very happy for your suggestion. So, if you have anything, please do say it. It's always nice, at least it's always nice to have options to choose from, right? Especially when, like, if you may be a little bit stuck, but we'll see. This is turning into a rather long chapter as well. Was it 43? We started on 143, so well, we are over 20 pages in now. That's interesting. You know what I like? It's actually probably something that I should look into. I like that you're mentioning dance, because dance also has very much, flow. So there might be some terminology that I could use from that when trying to describe this flow of life, this flow of magic. So thanks for that. That's cool. And it is very easy for the flow to dilute within all of them, within all of them. It should dilute if that's too much word. And we want actually we need the flow to be as concentrated as possible. Concentrated as possible. Just simple. Oh, Miri said, no problem, dance was interesting to learn, but I didn't stick with it. I knew who I wanted to be, and I knew who I wanted to be, and a dancer wasn't my art form. That is great. I used to go dancing as well as a kid. More like forced to by my parents. Standard dance, you know, waltz and stuff. And I absolutely despised it. Mostly because I was forced to, I think. And not really a lot of my, many of my friends did it. So a couple of them did, but yeah. For 5 years. I have a pin for it. Somewhere. But I will say now I actually do enjoy dancing. So it did give me something. I won't admit that to my parents though. If we are to use the power holds that is good. I'm laughing. Well, Miri, I'm glad that someone laughs. Because it was not fun when I had to do it as a child. Whatever is left of it. Whatever might be. Left of it anyway. The flow from the branch. was indeed had indeed. Slowed down. Miri says the things we don't tell our parents. That should be a trend. Honestly, that sounds like a fun viral video trend or something. Things we don't tell our parents. Ebb. Recede might be. Might be a better word. Recede, retreat, blah blah blah, lose. Oh, ebb with 2 B's and no E's, but we're going to use recede. Receded. Now that Vesper was made aware of it. So we like just lampshading here that I haven't forgotten about this stupid stupid flow of life. What should I use? It's my focus point. Desperation. Hint of desperation. Desperation. Desperation? Or desperation? Desperation. Yes. Thank you, Google. Yeah, I don't know what that should be. Her focus point. I kind of do like if it would be the gauntlet, but she doesn't have that here. Doesn't have that with her. guess we could have like he could suggest her gauntlet. Because there's no way she can get it to 2. Also she's 12. Maybe in her desperation she sort of cuts herself on the one of the branch's thorns, and then they can use that. That I guess could work. Yeah. Then she would also have like using her finger, I guess. Yeah, let's go with something like that. I do think I will stop the live stream at like in 40 minutes ish. Both so it doesn't get too late here. It's 20 past 10. And I actually have my brother visiting, so but I just needed to get going again, get started. Amidst all of this Christmas chaos that has been going on. I mean, it's Christmas, of course there's chaos, right? Figuring out presents and all that jazz. Decorating stuff. Another good question. The spirit said. I don't suppose. I don't suppose. Have 82 or other drawing on you. No. Despite her best efforts. Yep, wow. Let's not even discuss if it's whatever I wrote there. Get anything the lights. I'm not sure about that phrasing. It sounds a bit weird. Phrasing. Let's go with weird. Weird. I think it's just the S that's problem actually, or whatever. Get anything you like. The reason was always that she wasn't ready. Was always that she wasn't ready. Hey, we managed to go past the second page of the day. Woo-hoo. Let's go. So yeah, that's all good. Put it up here, could hold. Maybe that sounds a bit better. And what about your gauntlet? Terrible penmanship. Terrible penmanship again. There we go. Rena, you suggest this. His voice also beginning, also starting. To move fast. That's something voices can do. hurry along. Little. That seems like you are very fond of. Very fond of. And that can be incredibly helpful. Can be incredibly helpful. Whoops. No, I don't have it with me. No. Vesper. Vesper, sadly, no, he didn't. Sadly, unfortunately, no. The word febrilsk, feverish, frantically. That's maybe the word we'll use. Vesper almost apologized. Almost apologized. Getting more and more frantic. As she was suddenly aware, that the flow of life she had directed into her body, into herself. Flow of life she had directed into herself. Felt less warm. As if it was slowly dissipating into the cold, damp air of the catacombs. her eyes. Let's go with that. At least for now. That she sort of pricks herself on the thorns. Making a focus point, a focal point, maybe, on her finger. Something in my book. There we go. Whatever that was. We're still closed. As she is less with less grace than previously. Fumbled. Less grace and then fumble in the same sentence. Yeah. What? With the branch between her fingers. I don't know about this whole paragraph actually. Or whatever. Between her ouch. Vespa exclaimed. Tell me what happened. Tell me what happened. Renee said, trying to calm her down a little bit. Renee said, trying to calm her a little bit. Maybe just trying to calm her. No need to say a little bit again. the branch. It stabbed me. Pricked. It stung me. No, there's insects. I guess it's pricked. Thorns. Vesper told she could feel. She could feel. She could feel the blood, the blood flowing, traveling. Traveling down her index finger. Don't know. So I know it's called index finger, but I don't know. Maybe I'm just like, would you call it an index finger in a medieval fantasy setting? Or is just traveling down a finger is enough? From the newly established. Oh. That's also a bit weird. Feels weird. Probably a rephrase. Reina had an idea. We're also changing up a little bit the way I write here. I don't know, I feel like, and it's definitely something that I need to be aware of when I revise it, edit it. It's very much something he said, she said, he explained, she explained, Vesper told, and then longer, then it continues, right? For example here, tell me what happened, Reina said, trying to calm her. That's sort of the very, I use that all the time. standard way of, I guess it's the standard way of phrasing. But you know, just to mix it up a little bit. So now Renee had an idea. Use it. Vespa wasn't immediately on the same page. Given the expression on her face, even with her eyes closed, even with her eyes closed. We're very soon close. We're very soon at the end of page 164. That's cool. That's pretty good, pretty great. Use what? Use the wound. Spirit eagerly explained. Just this once. It might not be permanent. It might not be permanent. And we will find and train with a new focus point. Find and train with a new and better focus point in the future. What the wound will do for now. Well, 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 if that wasn't page 164, done so. Yes, so. Just in time for the end of the live stream. Page 165, which means new page hype. Oh yeah. And we got like 10 minutes left to get a little bit of scribbles down. The wound will do just fine. This once. Honestly, we could have as like a callback in the second or third book where Vespa like intentionally hurts herself in order to create this focus point so she can, you know, that could be a pretty cool callback. Woo, indeed, Miri. Good to have you here for the page hype. It wouldn't be right without you hyping up the page, the new page. But yeah, I quite like that idea actually, to have a callback to the first book then. And also that can be, you know, that's a form of self-harm, which is probably not a good idea to have in a tween book. So that could be one for a little bit older. I'm not sure how the hesitation could almost be felt. As Vespa tried to figure out how one would even go about that. But at least she didn't. But at least she wasn't frantic anymore. I think it can work very well, actually. I think it can work quite well. No. Quite well. Actually. Began explaining. Began to explain? Yeah, probably. You can feel the exact point, right? The pain tells you. The exact location where the thorn pierced your skin. Does it not? You know what? We're so close to the third page here, which is like down here. So we're gonna write 3 pages and then, or maybe a little bit more than 3 pages, and then stop for today. It's only a couple of lines away, of course. I guess. Vesper replied. Still with a lot of uncertainty. A lack of faith. It's not uncertainty, faith. It's called faith, trust, confidence, certainty. Lack of conviction. Dogma, view, blah, 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 conclusion, acquittal, exoneration. With a healthy amount of doubt, let's say that. Oh, healthy amount of doubt. in her own voice. I can also feel the blood. Also, excellent. Where was the third page? So it's like here. Okay. Just put this there, then we know that's the third line. Actually, let's not. No, that was really terrible. Whatever, we just keep writing. Excellent. If no, it's excellent. You can pinpoint it. The wound using those. And there is your focus point. There is focus point. Renee was getting quite excited. Renee was getting quite excited. Getting quite excited. And so was Lemon, chirping away. The Warhammer's handle. Handle. Vesper less so. But won't the flow just exit? I don't know about that word. there. Like it does on the branch itself. On the branch itself. Vespa could sense she was a lot more skeptical. She was a lot more skeptical. Than her two companions. We will only have to wait and see. We will only have to see. The spirit dodged her question. I don't know if he dodged it. Word. But I don't think we have. I don't. I think we have time to try anything else. To try anything. And I'm going to end it there because I believe there was indeed a couple of lines. Yeah, so that's like 3 pages and 3 lines, I believe. Should probably just have a quick count. 1, 2 pages. Master sort of counting is here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29, 30, 31, 32, 33, 34, 35, 36, 37, 38, 39, and 1, 2, 3. It was indeed 3 pages and 3 lines. So we go over here into our word count document. And this was Thursday. So let's have a row above that and take this here. No. This one here, this one there. And this is definitely not. This is 0. Okay, so that's Friday, Saturday, Sunday, and then, okay. $46, and let's just go here. We go like that. Why is that times? Oh, wow, okay. Yeah, never mind, this doesn't make any sense. Not anymore, at least. So this is today, I believe. Let's just go like that, like that. I don't know what's going on here. My brain just sort of turned off. And what? Why? Goal. I don't care about that. This is 3 pages and 3 lines. It says something about the values. Why are they wrong? Oh, that's why. Okay. No. And then this one was 3 pages and 3 lines. There we go. And then that's that. Okay. Okay, so. Oh, we almost hit 60,000. Oh, that's actually too bad that we didn't manage to do that. I guess we could, but whatever. It is, we go in here. It is what it is. And I am a-okay with that. So it is 59,986. And there we go. We move into this. And that was it for today, guys. I just want to say thank you guys so much for being around. Thank you can see thank you guys in the chat for being here with me, chatting with me, talking about writing and your own stuff. It is always great to hear how you guys are doing with that. Next stream is going to be on Wednesday, same time. It will most likely be the last live stream of the year because of Christmas and New Year's and all that jazz. Yeah, I think it will. So we got that to look forward to. I hope you guys had fun today. I know I did. It's great to actually get some writing done. And yeah, thank you guys so much for watching. If you liked it, please do remember to like it on YouTube. And maybe even subscribe to me if you haven't already. It would mean a lot. And we do have this sort of sprouting writing community here that I'm really, really fond of. I love that. And last but not least, remember that we write our own stories. I'll see you Wednesday. Bye.